Hello, friends of ARC. Thank you so much for stopping by today and joining us for our 6th episode of the ARC series. My name is Aaliyah Carlos, and I am one of the co-founders of ARC.
And my name is Christina Andaya, also a co-founder of ARC. In this series, we'll be joined by special guests, Asian Canadians, who we believe are amazing inspirations in our communities. In each episode, we will be highlighting an Asian cuisine that we have delivered to our guests from local Asian restaurants. Our hope is that in these sessions, we will get to engage in a fun conversation about Asian Canadian experiences over food. Because, hey, what better way to capture our cultures and cultivate meaningful relationships by having food and having all of us be brought here together.
Yes, exactly. And today we are very excited to have a very special guest joining us. Please give it up for one of Canada's golden swimmers, KAYLA Sanchez. So I'll do a quick intro for those who may not know all the amazing things that you've done. I'm sure most Canadians know who you are anyways. But just for those who may not know, KAYLA is a 20-year-old Filipina Canadian Olympic swimmer. She's a 2-time Olympic medalist, a world championship medalist, Commonwealth medalist, and a Canadian and world junior record holder. Oh my God, seriously, talk about setting the stage for Asian Canadians coming forward and Asian women. Thank you so much for joining us today, KAYLA. How are you doing?
Good. Yeah, I had some training today this morning, and we actually were doing some racing. So it was nice. It was fun, and I'm excited to eat.
Oh my God! And look at your setup. We just have to say, you will get all the points out of all of our guests. Your setup has been like the most impressive. So thank you so much. Why don't we start with you explaining what you got, like showing us, like telling us the restaurant and what you ordered.
Yes, so I'm Filipino, as you were told, and my friend actually has a restaurant called Kapitbahay, and they sell just the classic Filipino foods that I love. So this is pancit.
Yum.
When I was younger, I actually used to pick the vegetables out of it and just eat the noodles. This is adobo, chicken or beef. I like the chicken, and it's really good with rice as well. Daron is it's like a bigger type of spring roll. Banana, it's fried. Oh, so good. It's sweet. And I always thought that was weird, a banana fried and everything. Oh, it's so good, I promise. Lumpia, classic. It comes with a sweet and sour sauce, kind of runny, so not like a thick sauce. And I used to have this all the time growing up. And the last one, my dad told me to feature it. It's caldereta, so classic Filipino dish. Caldereta, I think, means cauldron in English. So it's a beef stew, and it has peppers and potatoes, and it's a tomato type base.
And olives.
And olives, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. I have to say, we are Filipina Canadians as well, and caldereta is one of my favorite dishes in the world. Actually, it's so warm, and it's like the classic like Filipino stew. Yes. I would suggest that to anyone. So thanks so much for sharing what you got. I'm so jealous. Like, I'll go next, and the reason why I'll go next is because I'm kind of going against the grain in this episode. This is our season finale. I'll just say it. This is our season finale, and we wanted to end off with a bang. With you as our season finale guest, but also I wanted to highlight another cuisine because I've had Filipino on the episodes before, and I really wanted to highlight a really special restaurant to me. It's right downstairs from my condo, which I love, but also they do the most beautiful Indian food. So I'm actually having Indian today, and it's the most beautiful Indian I've ever had, to be honest. So I'm just gonna show it. It's a lot, like, and I have a small table, so I just put everything onto a plate. So like they have a garlic naan, veg samosa. They have great vegetarian options, and I'm plant-based, so like this is a vegan chicken, lemon, and potato thing. And then I got their goan curry and their biryani rice. So I'm very excited, and shout out to Cow Gully for being amazing. And Christina?
Dang, both of your meals look on point and totally
forgot.
delicious.
The mango lassi, I forgot. Mango lassi, delicious.
Fire too. Jeez. Well, today's restaurant on my end is brought to you by Canto by Tita Flips. And turns out Canto has 2 locations in Toronto. So the first location is at Market 707, which is at the intersection of Bathurst along Dundas West. And the other location is at the junction. So that's where I got my food. The reason why I got canceled by Tita Flips is basically at the Market 707 location, which is located in front of Scatting Court. Years ago, on May 15th, somewhere in the 80s, that is when my parents met, and they've been together ever since. And then hence eventually I came along. So I wouldn't be here if it weren't for Scatting Court, hence which is why I got canceled by Tita Flips.
Oh, love it. Love the sentimental.
Yeah, it's a sentimental vibe really for our season finale. So I've been wanting to try canto for so long. So today I got seasick fries. It has a little bit of heat. It looks totally fire. And this for dessert, or in this case in Tagalog, matamis. Kayla, we totally understood the assignment because we got toron. Except for very maliit, a bit bite size.
Yeah, those are bite size. Those are
yeah, I had to order 2 because my and I wants one too.
right.
And I got calamansi iced tea.
Yum. Oh my God, refreshing, delicious.
Let's dig in.
Yes, let us start. And to start, I think Christina will give you the first question, but do take your bite. Take your bite.
Oh, yeah. I will.
Oh my God, let's see.
How is it, everyone?
It's so good.
Just like I remember.
That's amazing. And Kayla, whenever you're ready to answer this, this first question is basically your origin story. So we're wondering what inspired you to pursue swimming in the first place? What age? And when did you know when you want to take it to the next level, and especially with the Olympics?
Right. I was 4 years old when my parents signed me up for community swim lessons.
Oh, wow.
It's just kind of a hobby, something I would do after school. And then I got to the point where I couldn't progress any further in that swim lesson. So my swim instructor had told my parents about competitive swimming. So I was 7 or 8 years old when I was enrolled in competitive swimming. I didn't do the full schedule because my mom thought it would be too much for me to wake up at 5 in the morning to go to swim practice. So I kind of just kept going with it. I don't know. I never really had a, oh my goodness, I'm going to pursue swimming until maybe I was 14 or 15 years old. I didn't realize how I could actually just go to the Olympics. It's always something people ask me. They ask me, hey, are you going to go to the Olympics? And I'd always be like, maybe. So I'm quite shy in that way. And it happened. I worked hard and it was cool. Yeah, it's cool.
That's amazing. So in some ways, swimming it must have come naturally to you. Like at 4 years old, your body must have just adapted to the water. Like it was just something that you did. It's not like something you thought of. So for as long as you can remember, you've been swimming.
Pretty much. So I think mathematically, about 80% of my life has been swimming, which is pretty cool.
That's amazing. You want to know a funny fact about me? I don't know how to swim.
No way. Well, like, could you swim to the deep end and maybe back?
I mean, like, I'll go. You know what I can't do? I can't do that thing.
Which one?
No, I can't stay above water. I make a joke, like I can swim underwater. I can't swim above water. I panic, like I can't stay afloat. So I would drown.
That's okay. That's why they have life jackets.
Right.
Good. If you're going hot, you just have to stand on the boat. You don't. No one says you have to swim.
Right, exactly. Christina, do you know how to swim?
Like I took swimming lessons when I was a kid, like especially with the city of Toronto. I remember going up to like levels, maybe level 4, level 5 if I'm lucky, but then I stopped swimming for several years, and then I started taking the adult swimming classes at Parkdale Swimming Center, and then yeah, I just learned how to swim, and thankfully I learned how to swim properly as an adult, and basically the backstroke is my strength.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, surprisingly, as long as I'm doing like backstrokes, I'm like, yeah, I'm fine.
That's impressive. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
backstroke is a lot of core strength and keeping the body afloat.
Yeah.
That would not be for me. Core strength does not exist over here, girls. No.
Oh no. Sorry.
What's it called? Okay, so that's, oh my god, tell me how the pantsuit is.
Oh,
And it's not pantsuit, is that pantsuit like the skinny noodles, yeah?
Mhm.
Yeah, oh my god, that's my favorite. Is it good? It looks delicious.
Good. Mhm.
With a squeeze of lemon on top too. Oh my god, I'm an acidic girl. I love lemon and citrus.
I surprisingly don't have calamansi around.
That's okay.
Dad.
Tito.
Okay, so I'll move on to the next question. Who did you look up to growing up? Did you have a hero? Like, I know a lot of young kids will be like, I want to be like that person. Or like for me, for example, I really loved Michael Jackson growing up. I had a poster of him in my room. There was just something about him that just struck me. I thought he was so cool. I mean, that's arguable today. But as a performer and as a musician, as a singer, like he was just, he's a legend in that way. So for me, it was him. Like, did you have someone like that you had their poster maybe, or that you were like, I want to be like them?
Right. Yeah. It was, when you say the Michael Jackson thing, for some reason, the person that I would say is do you know Michelle Phan from YouTube? And she used to do makeup tutorials. Maybe this is just because I really admired her like makeup videos, but it has nothing to do with swimming. So I don't really relate in any way, but I'd probably say my parents, just because they're pretty hardworking. So I always felt like I needed something to also really grind into. Swimming wise, the most easy answer would be Missy Franklin, and she's just a USA kind of all-star for swimming, and she was very talented. And if you're a female swimmer at the time, you probably wouldn't not hear about her. So yeah, I think that's kind of how I got more into the sport, looking up to those other athletes.
Oh wow. Curious, because I've had this conversation before, like with friends and with in-laws, like women's sports. Do you find, being a woman and an athlete, do you find that there is like a stark difference between, like, I don't know, like in terms of how people react, like respect wise, or whether you feel like there's enough attention or support for women athletes? And do you think that varies in sports? Like as a swimmer, is it different as opposed to like a female soccer player?
Right. I think the disparity in men and women's sport is like apparent, probably for the same way that it would be in any other sport. Kind of like how it is for women's basketball as well too. I think what we've struggled with and what I realized kind of getting older in our sport is like in the common swimming websites, there would be like a woman and a man would win the same award essentially, but on the cover of a magazine they put man, and it doesn't make sense because, for example, there was a woman at this past Olympics who won 5 Olympic medals, and this man had maybe won a few, and they had chosen to put him on instead. And it was kind of a moment where all the women in the swimming community were just in a bit of disbelief, like really, like not even them together. like you couldn't edit a photo of them together. So I think it could be frustrating for sure. That women would have to prove themselves more in a way to just kind of get that recognition. But I think it's there. And hopefully nowadays with social media and the conversations that are happening, female athletes can get more recognition and the respect they deserve, I think.
Yeah. Well, interesting. That is a very interesting topic, especially in terms of like now we have lots of trans communities. You know, there's lots of like, how does that, you know, it's such a tricky topic, because I do feel like some people on one end are so against it and other people on the other end are not against it, and then people in the middle, maybe like me, that just don't know enough about it, right? So yeah, sports is just such a fascinating field, and I've always had such an admiration for athletes, because I feel like, you know, there's lots of careers that you can admire, but the amount of like, it takes up your whole existence, basically, like your body, your brain, your soul, your like every part of your body, it's just all consuming. So like, I don't know how any athlete does it, the amount of dedication, like it's so admiring to me. And I think Christina's next question will really answer like, oh my God, like how do you even do it?
Yeah.
That was too nice. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Yeah.
You're so sweet. And Kayla, just to echo Leah's point, you're definitely you're incredible. And as an athlete, what does your everyday life look like, essentially?
Yeah, I've been in the high performance routine now since I was 15 years old. And that's when the routine of my whole life kind of started to change. I joined a high performance center, which is where most of the Olympic swimmers train together. So it's a pretty intense environment, and my day would start actually not that early. I would be in the pool for 7:45 in the morning. So I would get up maybe at 6:30, have some breakfast, drive to the pool. Actually, coffee is it became a very big part of my life, coffee. Drive to the pool, swim for about 2 hours, get out, have to go back for around 2, 3. And yeah, I swim 9 times a week. So it's definitely a lot. And I feel like I'm tired throughout most of my day, but I definitely love to make time for things that I do enjoy, like eating some food or seeing some friends. So my day would typically end, so I'm done my practice at 6:30, 7 p.m. And then I come home, eat dinner, do some school, and then go to sleep.
Wow, that's a packed day. Can I just ask, because you've been swimming for so long, do you still get sore?
Oh, all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. So it's like, and what is the difference between you say high performance, is it just because you're swimming in the same place as like you're training basically for the Olympics? Is that what a high performance is?
So compared to a club team, a high performance schedule doesn't really fit with normal school time. So it comes with kind of changing your school routine. I had to spend most of my high school online, which was hard because I think high school was supposed to be a social time, and I didn't really have that experience. But another thing would be kind of the resources that we have. A lot of money is put into the centers for kind of developing and nurturing the athletes that do commit to training in a center, which is also, I was definitely nurtured from 15 to 16 and making sure that I kind of reach my full potential throughout my swim career. Yeah.
So you just train by yourself now?
No, I have a pretty cool group of people that I do train with that includes other Olympians and people who are aspiring to be like that as well.
Wow. 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 That I have always wanted to ask an Olympian what their schedule looks like. And you like, I don't know, Christina, words? I'm still shocked that you're
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Aaliyah, because ever because especially it's one thing that to train like for world championships, and then for the Olympics it's another thing to like continue on the momentum, especially after the major success that that you're able to achieve during the summer.
For sure. Thank you. Yeah. So our world championships this year that was supposed to happen in May was actually canceled.
Oh.
And it was moved to next year, but we do have the Commonwealth Games in July that I'm currently training for.
Nice.
And where does that take place?
The Commonwealth Games this year is in Birmingham in the UK.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that. That's so cool.
You're able to travel too.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate in that way that I get to see a lot of the world.
And does your family get to come with you, or do you go with like?
No, so that's the other thing with the high performance team. Instead of a club team where maybe you go with your parents, and I go with my team. So I'm usually alone. But that's what having the team is very important for, because I've bonded. They're pretty much my second family.
I love that. Oh my god,
Yeah.
that's so cool. Okay, we can move on to the next question. A little more personal. As an Asian Canadian, do you feel like your culture has had an impact on your life, your choices, your habits, in any significant way?
For sure. I think when I was younger, my parents really ingrained in me that hardworking kind of aspect. I always knew that they were working, and maybe subconsciously that just meant in my head, okay, I need to work too. So a lot of the success that I have, it's not based on like, which may sound here, let me just say the success that I have, I'm proud of it because it inspires my family or inspires other Asian Canadians or Filipinos out there. So the fact that I can share my success and inspire people is what makes it kind of worth it. And I think I learned that from my culture and my parents. Yeah. It's just weird to think that I inspire people, and when I think, like, that's something that inspires me. So I feel like it's like a circle, and it's nice. And I'm
I think that yeah, I think you because you're just doing what you do, right? You're just living your life. You're an athlete. Sometimes you don't think about the impact, like how far it reaches, like seeing a Filipina Canadian like win medals like in the Olympics. Like we've had other Filipino Canadians on our episodes. And that's one of the things that you mentioned, the like work ethic that's ingrained in all of us from a young age seems to be just, all across the board. Being Filipino Canadian like comes with so much pride because of how much our culture has it's funny to say nurture, because actually a lot of our culture is like really like tough and like 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 I'm doing this to make you strong type culture. But it is like an odd sense of like nurturing that resilience and that strength and that work ethic that I find all across the board for all Asian Canadians. And honestly, like when I was younger, there were no Filipino Canadians that I can recall, like Canadian Filipina Canadian, like Canadian Filipinas that I can recall looking at the screen during the Olympics and being like, oh my God, like that it like she's like us, like that's insane. And like when I think about having a family of my own one day, and for them to see, like if I had a daughter and for her to see you on the television, or for me to be like, I interviewed Kayla, she's Filipina Canadian just like us, like that, I feel like that's so impactful. And I think we're so lucky to live in a day and age where we get to celebrate each other's successes as Asian Canadians and highlight it like on platforms like this. because there was a time where it just wasn't, it didn't exist. So yeah, it's pretty amazing. Thoughts, Christina?
Yeah, you basically just summed it up beautifully, Aaliyah. Because in any case, because with one of our guests, who is also Filipino Canadian, she even mentioned like the able to see. So the just seeing a fellow Kabibayan or Filipino Canadian in any platform, especially like this, it really means something. And honestly, even though we are living our daily lives in whatever means, whatever that looks like, it's just the impact will continue on, and it becomes more wholesome in a way, knowing that the momentum will continue to grow.
Like it's a legacy. Do you ever think about it like that? Do you ever think that you're you're like leaving behind a legacy?
I like to think that, but I think like talking to you guys as well, like if you come across a Filipino Canadian girl walking on the street, you probably know that they're a hard ass worker, you know, like they're probably working their butt off. So it's the pride, and that's it, the pride. And it makes me happy.
Yes, it makes me very proud and very happy.
Yeah, definitely. And just knowing that will continue is unbelievable. Sweet. In this case, what are some of your passions or other hobbies that you like to do outside of swimming?
I love spending time with my friends. There's something grounding about it. Spending time with my family. My life is very go 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 sometimes, and I can feel overwhelmed. And when I check in with my friends and I check in with my family, and I just sit down, enjoy a show, or do a crossword puzzle with my sister, it can turn that go 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 into okay, time for myself, time for the people I care about, and I love that. Another thing, I love walks too. There's sometimes where I just walk outside, and that's kind of grounding. I think when I realized how complex the world is and everything, it also helps me relax because you know when the world kind of just seems like it's just unfolding all right in front of you, and it's uncontrollable, but I love activities where I can kind of ground myself, and I think that's when I can truly enjoy time. And yeah.
Wow. I mean, this is gonna sound like so silly, but if I was 20 years old and had a friend that was in the Olympics, have you guys seen Spider-Man?
Which one?
Like the Tom Holland ones, I would totally be like the sidekick, like girl in the chair. Like you would be like the superhero and I'd be like always like hyping you on everything. Like my friend's an Olympian and this is what she's doing. Like, are your friends, did you find your friend, like any relationships changed like when you like blew up basically?
Kind of. Actually, I don't have a plethora of friends outside of the swim world, because I didn't really go to high school in person. But the friends that I do have, not really at all. What I have found is that now that the come up from the Olympics and going to the Olympics and coming home, and I'm just kind of having more time to spend with them and just figuring out that kind of balance. But no relationships have changed, I don't think. Sometimes I like don't realize that I went and like the impact of it. So maybe that's just me not really realizing, but yeah, everyone's super sweet.
My God, like 20 years old, like you're 20, right? You're turning 21 this year?
I'm turning 21 in April.
In April. Oh my God, me too. Wait, Christina, you're not in April. No, you're not.
I'm in November. I'm a Scorpitarius. I'm a cusp.
Scorpitarian. Kayla, I think you and me are Aries. Yeah, that's interesting because yeah, like your whole life in one way or another, like even your friends, like it's so unique because you're kind of all into like the swim community, right? So like your friends are also athletes. You must have a lot of friends around the world, like that you've met. Oh my God, I just pictured it now, like you all meet like in the Olympics, and it's like, oh my God, come visit me and here, come visit me here. Like, is that like a normal culture that exists in the Olympics?
For sure. Also, yeah. Oh, that's like one of the most enjoyable parts I think about my swim career is the people I get to meet, and every meet, so you go to like an Olympics, a World Championship, a Commonwealth Games, a World Short Course, something like that. You see the same people, and you really start to develop relationships with them. There's also something called the International Swimming League that they launched a few years back, and that has been another huge platform where I've actually met the most swimmers that I have because we've spent the most time together. So I have some new friends from the Netherlands and Sweden, and oh my gosh, the craziest thing is that everyone is so nice, even though they're all competing against each other. Like there are those small rivalries where you're like kind of analyzing, like, ooh, like should I step into that friendship or like, you know? And ground level, everyone's very sweet, and I know that if I was ever in Sweden, I'd have like a friend that would be like, "Hey, you can stay with me," and that's the cool thing. Yeah, it's
that is so cool. Talk about like friend, like I can't imagine, you know, a lot of careers do give you that like opportunity to make lots of friends around the world, but like as an athlete, like you have this commonality.
Yeah, exactly.
You can relate on so many levels. Like that is just insane to me. And it's funny because I've often pictured like what life was like or what it was like meeting meeting other athletes. Like for such an awful reason, I would picture like that scene in Mean Girls where everyone's just like just like jungle, like fighting each other because everyone wants to win. But it's so nice to hear, like to get a little insight into that community. Like, you know, it's not like that. It's like kind.
Everyone's pretty social, and I think they're all searching for people to just talk to, which is fun.
Right, because I assume that like a lot of their lives are, you know, like their sport, and like they don't go to like regular classes, I guess, because like
exactly.
they are.
So that's kind of where my social sense is. It's in the swim world, which is like all those people are in it, and it's like kind of like a small tight knit community that unless you're in it, like you wouldn't ever really know that it's there.
Right, we had no idea.
But now I think that like when I watch the Olympics for other sports, I'm like, oh, they probably all know each other too. I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah, it's like when you watch celebrities like on like the awards, and it's like they're all saying hi, like, oh yeah, we went to their house at their party, and it's like oh, it's so weird. Like you forget these people are human. And I like for me, like when I fangirl like over you or like other people we've had over on the episodes, I'm like, oh my God, they're like, I'll tell Christina, like, you know, they're human, like I can relax.
Oh yeah, all human.
Is this my question? Is the final question my question?
This is your final question, Aaliyah.
Okay. So what advice would you give to someone who would like to pursue a sport like swimming at a professional level, especially to women from the BIPOC community?
I think what I learned is like go for it, because you'll have your doubts and everything, but talk to your friends, talk to the people that care about you, because those are the people that will support you, and you need support because you can't do everything alone. And I found I needed that, especially leading up to the Olympics. I needed support, and that's kind of what helped fortify like my belief, and that's what makes you be passionate for something, is if you really care for it and have goals. Also the pressure, there's pressure in everything, but what I realize is the trajectory of different people's careers is different. Some people will be super successful and break out at 15 years old. Some people do it when they're 21. Some people do it at 30. Everyone has their own story. What didn't change about those people is that they had the drive to go for it and do it, and they just kept going. And it doesn't matter if you're successful at 20 or 40 or 60 or 80. Is if you wanted it and you got it.
Mhm.
It's all up to you.
I love that. Go for it. I think like not just for swimmers or people wanting to be athletes, it's a lot with a lot of things in life. I think that's been a reoccurring like narrative in our episodes, no, Christina? Like
Definitely.
when we'd ask a lot of Asian Canadians, like how, what advice would you give? Or like, similar to you, it's like it's so easy to get trapped in our heads and to get like pulled down by self-doubt. Like we are our worst critic. We are like our worst enemies at times, like our mind, right? So having like the strength to push and go for it, I think that in itself, like whether you get the medal, whether like make it to the Olympics, I mean, we're like the fact that you did it was insane and amazing and wow. But like if you love something and you want to do it, right? Like I mean, nothing should stop you, and hopefully you have the support. And that's really what we try to like cultivate here at ARC too, right? When we want to build relationships with Asian Canadians and to inspire younger generations to truly be in all spaces, occupy all spaces, so that we can just be more represented, because we aren't in a lot of spaces. So
Yeah, totally.
yeah.
Yeah, and just to add on to your point, Aaliyah, for sure, whether it's in swimming or in academia in our case, or especially in my world, pageantry, shoot, we can do anything that we wanted to do. We just have to take that leap of faith.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm still training. So I can't believe this is our final episode of the season.
Yes.
So
This was like totally, like we have to give a shout out to Equal Voice and Daughters of the Vote. That's how the co-founders of ARC, myself, Christina, April, Christine, and Kaylee, that's how we all met each other through this political summit, through Daughters of the Vote. The food being covered by ARC was actually a grant from the ROSEMARY Spear grant. So we have to give a shout out to them. This wouldn't be possible without them. And like to all of our guests, and of course, there's truly no better way to end off season 1 than with KAYLA Sanchez. It's really been such an honor. You're so busy, and like it's been so great to get to know you. Even if
oh my goodness, this was fun.
Yes, it was. And we like to end off with rating the foods.
Yes.
You can go first, Kayla.
Okay. Oh, the caldereta hit. Oh my goodness. I like.
Really?
Yeah, that was when you said it was something that you would recommend. Like, I didn't even think about that, and it was so good. I'm not even saying that to like go back, watch my face when I ate it. Oh, it was good. Let's say I'm gonna say 10 for that.
Mm-hmm.
For the lumpia, I'll also say 10. I love that. Fun sit, I'll say a 9.
Mm-hmm.
Turon. Oh my goodness, am I rating this too highly? Is this supposed to be
No.
You're speaking the truth. Keep going, Kayla.
Turon, oh my goodness. I wish I had your mini ones, but an 8 or a 9 for sure. Let's say 8.5. And I didn't have any adobo because I was enjoying what I did have. So
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I'm sure you can enjoy it maybe with your family after. That would be nice.
Yeah.
well, I mean, it's gonna happen.
Yeah. Christina?
Sweet. So for the sisig fries, it's practically halfway done. Overall, I really enjoyed the flavors that from this popular item from Canto by Tita Flips. I have to give a bit of a rating. Well, technically, if I could give a perfect score, I would, but so far I would say a 9.5.
Mm-hmm.
Or in Google, 4.5. For the toron. See, I mean, I wish we can trade torons because some of these torons, when I got it, they're kind of stuck.
Oh my gosh, that's one giant.
It's really sticky.
It's really sticky when I unboxed it. So in this case, I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. It's still, the flavors aren't there. It's just sticky.
Nice. That's all that matters, the flavors.
Yeah. As you know, with us Filipinos, we love our flavors.
Big flavors.
Big flavor energy. And last but not least, the calamansi iced tea. I would give this, hell, actually, I might as well give this a perfect score. 10 out of 10.
Nice, 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 nice.
Your turn, Aaliyah.
Cow Gully, if you're ever Midtown, so I live near Davisville, I highly recommend it. Like, especially because I think Indian food can be really intimidating for a lot of people because they think it's all curries. Cow Gully has such a beautiful variety. Everything is gone. It was delicious. I give everything a 10 out of 10. And I've had lots of Indian food, and their service is great. The drink, 10 out of 10. So no, Kayla, you didn't score too high because I'm literally giving them a 10 out of 10. It was delicious.
Wow.
Gosh, now I'm coughing. Yes, so thank you so much again, Kayla, for joining us for our season finale of the ARC series. It was such an honor. It was such an honor to meet you. We're rooting for you. We're always going to be rooting for you. Know that, like, you have, this Asian Canadian resilience. Canada is like cheering you on all the way, and we can't wait to see what amazing things you do. No doubt you're going to do more amazing things. So thank you so much.
I'm honored. Thank you for having me on the final episode. I will keep dropping time and winning medals for you guys, I promise.
Oh my God, now I'm gonna get emotional.
We're cheering for you either way, Kayla. Continue to do great in everything you do.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you everyone for joining us for our final episode. Stay tuned for season 2.
Oh, and follow us on social medias.
Oh, yes.
And follow KAYLA Sanchez too on Insta, please.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.